Shalom, everybody. All praises to the Most High Yahya Bahasham Yeshaya Waharawat Kwadash. Halalahaya Bahasham Yeshaya Waharawat Kwadash. All praise to the Holy Triune, the Holy Trinity, and the Godhead. Alayam. Kowam Yis-RoyAl, Kowam Yis-RoyAl, Kowam Yis-RoyAl. This is part 3 to fully decoding time, seasons, feasts, festivals, and Sabbaths, and so on. Hope you guys are ready. We're going to start off with this right here. May the Holy Spirit guide us and keep us safe through this, and may we end this strong. Let's do this. We got this now. We're almost there. In the first book of John, chapter 2, verse 21, I do not write to you because you do not know the truth, but because you do know it, and because no lie comes from the truth, from Yeshua. In the second book of John, chapter 1, verse 1, the elder to the lady chosen by Ahijah, and to her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all who know the truth. In the third book of John, chapter 1, verse 3, it gave me great joy when some believers came and testified about your faithfulness to the truth, telling how you continue in it. Telling how you continue in it. May the whole world talk about how truthful you are, and how you walk in truth and speak truth. In the second book of Corinthians, for we cannot do anything against the truth, but only for the truth. For we cannot oppose the truth, but must always stand for the truth. After David. John chapter 17, verse 17. Sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. Make them holy by your truth. Teach them your word, which is truth. John chapter 8, verse 32. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth is our salvation. In the first book of Timothy, chapter 2, verse 7. And for this purpose, the truth, I was appointed a herald and an apostle, a first-hand witness. Ahijah telling the truth. I am telling the truth. Ahijah not lying, and a true and faithful teacher of the Gentiles. So Zechariah chapter 8, verse 16. These are the things you are to do. Speak the truth to each other, and render true and sound judgment in your courts, in your courts, in your courts, in your courts. Truth, consent, jurisdiction, contract. John chapter 16, verse 13. But when he, the Spirit of truth, Yeshua, comes, he will guide you into all the truth. When the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all truth. In the third book of John, chapter 1, verse 12, Demetrius is well spoken of by everyone, and even by the truth itself, Yeshua. Everyone speaks highly of Demetrius, as does the truth itself. So in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 21, teaching you to be honest and to speak the truth, I am, so that you bring back truthful reports to those you serve. In the third book of John, chapter 1, verse 4, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth, in the truth, in the truth, the children of Yis-RoyAl. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. In the second book of John, chapter 1, verse 3, grace, mercy, and peace from Ahijah, the Father, Abba Ahijah, and from Christ Yeshua, Justus, Savior Christ, the truth, the Father's Son, the I am that I am Son, truth. I am that I am truth, will be with us in truth and loving the commandments, which is light. Titus, chapter 1, verse 18, and will pay no attention to Jewish myths, or to the merely human commands of those who reject the truth. So in the second book of Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 12, and so that all will be condemned who have not believed the truth, but have delighted in wickedness. Wickedness is the opposite of truth. So this is why I come to you guys with this information today. So let's go ahead and continue. We're going to start all over so we can start fresh. So Enoch calendar. The Enoch calendar is shown in the first book of Enoch and was given by the angel Yis-RoyAl, Ahaya, and is the original priestly calendar that was used in the Torah, book of law. That's what that means, the Bible. The Enoch calendar is a 12-month solar calendar having 364 days only, and it was used by the antediluvian patriarchs, and it was used by Noah, and it was used by Abram, and it was used by Jacob. This is why they were keeping the original ancient time. It was taught to Moses, the lawgiver. It had to be, because he was here to teach law and order, by the angel Ahaya. And it continued in effect through the Second Temple period under Ezra and Nehemiah. It was the official Hebrew calendar until the 2nd century BCE, when King Antiochus IV Epiphanes ended the use of Enoch calendar and forced the Hebrew people, sons of Heber, to observe the lunar calendar. The new moon calendar was the official calendar of the Greeks. Let me see. This, like these right here, moon calendars. But the moon follows the sun. The sun doesn't follow the moon. The sun is the crown of the house, like the man is the crown of the house. And Christ is the crown of the man, and the Most High Ahaya is the crown of Christ. So the crown of the moon is the husband, the man. So he rules her from crown to toe. Shouldn't be following the sun. We shouldn't be following the moon, because everything technically revolves around the sun, the gravity of the sun. And we're not here to worship the sun. We're just here to make sure that we're keeping the laws and the commandments of the Most High as best as we can. And this is the moon calendars. So in between March and April, they're waiting for a new moon, and they call that new moon a new month. That's what they replaced in our Bible from worshiping the moon. So they got the word moon from month and from the Bible. But we're not here to celebrate moon days. We're here to celebrate Sabbath days, which is a day of rest. So let's continue on. The new moon calendar was the official calendar of the who? The Greeks. The Hebrew Israelites? No, of the Greeks. And when Alexander the Great conquered the Middle in the 4th century BCE, the lunar calendar was introduced and was gradually, bit by bit, over centuries and times. Do you guys know what time we're in now? Wake up. Gradually we accepted it. By this time we surrendered to it. By most of the people, except for the Hebrew Israelite people, those who were still chosen and elected and connected to the root. In 172, King Antiochus appointed Menelaus as Jerusalem's Yerushalayim's high priest, which means judge, to introduce the Greek way of educating the young people. So to teach the young people early to follow and obey the gradually subduing and alluring new moon calendar, which is the spirit of Jezebel, the spirit of the mother goddess devil, the wife of Baal, of Osiris, Isis. So they were educating the people that stuff since young, and to completely Hellenize the Hebrew people, to make us look evil. And it does look evil. What are you guys doing out there under that moon? Y'all crazy. They're doing satanic stuff during that time. He also sent a senator from Athens to give the Hebrew Israelite people an ultimatum. You either take this or you die. You get killed. To forsake the laws of their God, Ahaya, and follow the king's, the president's orders, or to be put to death. Put to death was the ultimatum. Forsake the law or be put to death. So most of the Hebrew Israelite people followed the king's orders to save their families, and many were put to death because they would not do it. They stayed loyal and true to the end. King Antiochus forced the Hebrew people to celebrate the birthday of the month of the new moon. Every month at the time of the moon's first visibility. Hephaistio of Thebes was an astrologer. So they learned that from the fallen angels. And the 5th century CE, who compiled the historical Hellenistic astrology records, which is all devil records, in his research work called Apotolesmatics, Hephaistio quotes King Antiochus saying that the new moon is the time when the moon is born. Birthdays are all Jezebel worship. That's where it comes from in the cake. And is the birthday of the month. So they started to trick people, and people started to believe that new moons were the birthday of the month. So it represents a new month. Moony, lunatics, moons. So monarchy, all that stuff. Monopoly. But Antiochus of Athens says also that this method has a certain truth to it. No, it doesn't. But it does in a way, but not. Because we're not here to worship the moon. We're here to observe days and times and seasons. Observe, he says, on a given day that the moon is born, and to this number add 180, and always deduct 29 from the birthday of the month of the moon. So the new moon deduct 29 days from it. So observe, he says, on a given day that the moon is born, which is the new moon, and to this number add 180, and always deduct 29 from the birthday of the new moon. So which would be like 62. Wait, let me see. Actually, yeah, no, actually 61, pardon me. 61. So this will be 161 if you take away 29. But I don't get what they're saying there, and it doesn't apply to us anyway. That's their lie. In 167 BCE, when King Antiochus returned to Yis-RoyAl after his campaign, advertising himself like they do today in Egypt, he immediately banned the Hebrew Israelite religion and the Enoch calendar, both our rituals, our dates, our time, and everything, and suppressed us like the government is doing today, and prohibited all religious, spiritual practices. He dedicated the temple in Yis-RoyAl to Zeus. That's who did this, King Antiochus, which is Jesus, to Zeus, Sunday, which is Baal, the devil. Jesus is the devil, the Antichrist. And Christians are the demons of them. They're not Hebrew Israelite. They work for Zeus in the Roman Catholic without knowing it or knowing it. So that's they call him the Lord of Heaven, Baal Shaman. And Shaman is a witch doctor. And Baal is the devil. So in order the people to worship Zeus, and this is where Jesus comes in Christianity, 45 days later, he began sacrificing swine, pig, dirty stuff, and making abominable offerings on the altar, desecrating the tabernacle of the Most High, the holy tabernacle and the Holy of Holies. God disappeared from earth. And this began the Maccabean revolt, the book of Maccabees now. You see, which they took out the Bible. But there was a revolt. In the first book of Maccabees, chapter 1 and 2 of Maccabees, chapter 4, 6, and 7. So in the second book of Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 7, on the monthly birthday celebration, the king had the Jews taken under bitter constraint, which will be the Judah, to partake of the sacrifices, the abominable sacrifices of swine and things like that, which is filthy. And when the feast of Dionysus, so the feast of Dionysus is another devil. Look him up too. All these people are Greek people. So when the feast of Dionysus came, they were forced to walk in the procession in honor of Dionysus, wearing wreaths of ivy. So in the first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41 through 51, then the king, the president, wrote to the whole kingdom that all should be one people, like calling in a new world order, one world order, that they all should live as one and forget believing in your own traditions, mix everything, like America, a melting pot. Verse 42, and that each should give up his customs. And that's what happened to us. 43, all the Gentiles accepted the command of the king. Of course they did. And the ones who were no longer Hebrew Israelite, because they started to practice the king's days and stuff under fear. They had lost the Holy Spirit through fear. So we need the Holy Spirit to get through this. So all the Gentiles, which were the Hebrew Israelites that converted to Catholicism, Islamism, Arabism, everything else but Hebrew Israelite in the Holy Bible, accepted the command of the king. So because the people of Hebrew Israelite that accepted the command of the king, because they accepted it, that means they're serving a second master. They became Gentiles, which means someone who is no longer under the covenant of the Most High. The Most High don't know them. They have no obligations to the Most High, and the Most High have no obligation to free them, save them, warn them, or nothing. They'll live with no understanding and no Holy Spirit. So that's what Gentile is, someone who's not chosen anymore. That's not Hebrew Israelite. That got to reconvert to be a Hebrew Israelite. Be baptized in the Father Ahaya, the Son Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit, Ruach Kwadash, the Holy Triune, the Holy Trinity, the Godhead, Alayam. Let us make man in our image, in our image, in our image. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Who else? They created the angels and the councils of the angels. So many, even from Yis-RoyAl, gladly adopted his religion. Gladly. The black people been fooled like they are today. The black Hispanics been fooled. The black Indians all been fooled. But this was happening to the Jews, the Judites. They sacrificed to idols and profaned the Shabbath. To Jesus, to Zeus, because Zeus was the idol. Remember that. They forced them to worship Zeus, and they kept drilling just Zeus in their head. And that's why I have Jesus, Zeus, all this stuff. That's Diablo, El Diablo. That's who that is. And I cast them into a bottomless pit of Abel and Abaddon. So when the king sent letters by messengers to Yerushalayim and the cities of Judah, the Jews, the Judites, so-called Negroes, he directed them to follow customs strange to the land. 45. To forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the sanctuary. To profane Shabaths and feasts. To defile the sanctuary and the priests, the Levites. To build altars, sacrifice altars, and sacred precincts and shrines for idols. To sacrifice swine, pig, and unclean animals such as pig, and to leave their children uncircumcised. So they rebelled against the commands because of what Antiochus had did, which they called King Antiochus, and under the dictatorship of Dionysus, during the feast of Dionysus, which was one of the evil kings too. They were to make themselves abominable by everything unclean and profane. Even the times y'all keeping today's wrong. So we're going to prove everything today, right now. So that they should forget the law and change all the ordinances, statutes, and commands. And whoever does not obey the command of the king Antiochus, quote unquote, shall die. That's the ultimatum still lingering there. And that's why they crucified us on their crosses and tortured us with like this. And they did the same thing to Christ, to the dark-skinned people. Verse 51. In such words he wrote to his whole kingdom, and he appointed inspectors over all the people, tattletales, snitches, spies, big mouth, talebearers, and commanded the cities of Judah, Yahweh, to offer sacrifice to Zeus, Jesus, city by city. Now check out this right here. Look at this. This right here is in Acts chapter 13, verse 4. Preaching in Cyprus. So by the way, that was just talking about Herod, the one I was telling y'all that they turned white, and they turned Christ white, and the back looked like that, a dollar bill symbol. Yeah, that's Herod. So in Acts chapter 13, verse, hold on one second. Alright, verse 4. Preaching in Cyprus. So, being sent out by the Holy Spirit, Quadash Rawak, they went down to Seleucia, and from there they sailed to Cyprus. And when they arrived in Salamis, they preached the word of Ahia in the synagogues of the Jews, the Hebrew Israelites. They also had John at their assistant. So this was on Sabbath day. Alright, let's continue. Verse 6. Now when they had gone through the island to Paphos, they found a certain sorcerer, a liar, a false prophet, a Jew, whose name was Bar Jesus. Jesus, Zeus, the son of Zeus. Bar Jesus, Bar means son, Jesus means Zeus. And he is a sorcerer and a false prophet and a Jew. So people worshiping the false prophet, who was with the proconsul Sergius Paulus, an intelligent man. So he was with the proconsul Sergius Paulus, an intelligent man. This man called for Barnabas and Saul and sought to hear the word of Ahia. But Elymas, the sorcerer, which is the other name to say Bar Jesus, which means Elymas, which means son of the word, the sorcerer. This means sorcery right here, like magic. For so his name is translated, withstood them, seeking to turn the proconsul away from the faith. Then Saul, who also is called Paul, filled with the Holy Spirit, Rawak Kwadash, looked intently at him and said, O full of all deceit and all fraud, you son of the devil, you enemy of all righteousness, Bar Jesus, will you not cease perverting the straight ways of the Lord, the Most High Word? And now, indeed, the hand of the Most High Word is upon you, and you shall be blind, not seeing the sun for a time, for a year. And immediately a dark mist fell on him, and he went around seeking someone to lead him by the hand. Then the proconsul believed, when he saw what had been done, being astonished at the teaching of the Most High. So Bar Jesus, Zeus, is a false prophet, is a sorcerer. Now you can keep reading the rest of that if you want. Let's go ahead and finish up what we're reading now. So King Antiochus died 1,335 days after he dedicated the temple to Zeus. And that's important to know, so you can be able to calculate since when we've been, tricked by these people and deceived. So he died 335 days. So now if you take this, pardon me, boom. So now if you plug this in, 1,335 days, now divide it by 12 to see how much months that is. So divided by 12. So it's 112 months. 112 years. 112 years. 111 years technically, and 25 months. But I may be wrong. Let me see. Times 12. Oh yeah, I'm right. Alright. How about, so if we break it down, this is per year. If we break it down a month, let me see, how will we do that? 30 days per each, this is a year. So it took him 111 years and 25 months Well, we'll continue that on. We'll continue. So King Antiochus died 1,335 days after he dedicated the temple to Zeus, and 1,290 days after he sacrificed swine on Yah's altar. So he dedicated the temple of Zeus way before he did the swine sacrifices on the Most High Yah's altar. It happened exactly as Daniel prophesied. God is my judge. And in exactly 350 years as prophesied. 350 years. Daniel prophesied in 521 BCE. And King Antiochus put in effect his Hellenizing policies in 171 BCE. The Jubilee, time of freedom, timing is 350 years. So time equal 100 years. Times equal 200 years. And half a time equal 50. So 7 Jubilees, 350 years. Or 3 years and half a year. 3 years and a half. Daniel chapter 12 verse 7. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand, Aquarius, and his left hand unto heaven, and swore by him that lives forever, that it shall be for times, and half. And when he shall have accomplished to shatter the power of the holy people Yis-RoyAl, and put an end to it. Daniel chapter 12 verse 11 through 13. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination, Zeus, that makes desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. 1,290 days. 1,290 days after he sacrificed the swine on the altar. So blessed is he that waits and comes to the 1,330 days. So the 335 days. But go through 335 days. 1,335 days. During the time he dedicated the temple to Zeus. So blessed is he that waits and comes to the 1,330 days. But go thou thy way till the end be. So wait for the end times for law to be restored. For thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. Stand in your inheritance, in your house, in your own tent. The book of Jubilees was written during this time, and it preserved the Enoch calendar. It warned the Hellenistic Jews to guard themselves against keeping the Athenian calendar, Roman Julian season calendar, and the Gregorian calendar that begins the year on the first new moon after the summer solstice. Begins the year on the first new moon after the summer solstice. The writers of the book of Jubilees fear that if the Hebrew people observe the Athenian calendar and King Antiochus' monthly new moon birthday festival that begins the Greek months, which is on new moons, that they would forget the Enoch calendar and Ahia's months that end the year on the spring equinox. That is the Sabbath day. You see? Like I said, the end of the year at the end of Sabbath, which is Saturday night. That's when Christ rose up, because that's Sunday morning. And Sunday morning is really Sunday night. Sunday about to end. And it sets the seventh day Shabaths, Yawam Shabbat. They would lose track of their Yawam Shabbat and forget their monthly festivals, because we're following the moon in the wrong time and date. On the first day of each solar month. On the first day of each solar month. And forget the annual feast days, as they are all on fixed days every year. So it's on a fixed day every year. It's equal. Everything is equal down to the time and everything. Christ died on the same day and everything. He resurrected on this day, matter of fact. He resurrected on this day. And Abraham and them, like I said, was about to sacrifice Isaac on that day. So this is a very big day, very significant, very powerful and profound day. So based on the spring equinox that ends the year, Jubilees chapter 6 verse 34 through 38, and all the children of Yis-RoyAl will forget and will not find the path of the years. And this is what the book of Jubilees is telling you, which they took out the Bible in the Apocrypha. And will forget the months for the moon cycles and seasons and Sabbaths, Yawam Shabbats. And they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. So because they got the time wrong and the dates wrong, everything is out of order. So they will go wrong as to all the order of the years, missing everything, blaspheming, celebrating eggs, Christmas, massacre, Valentino Day, 4th of July's and Julius days, calling the days of the month, names of the month by the fallen gods, and going after astrology and everything else that opens your minds to demonic possession, witchcraft, sorcery, Bar Jesus, Bar Zeus. For I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto thee. So he know that this is going to happen. And from here forward, all the way back then, he declared this to us. And it is not of my own division. So it's not of his own accord. It's the Most High showing him the visions and the truth. For the book lies written before me. And on the heavenly tablets, the division of days is ordained. The heavenly tablets is the tablets of the sky. Let the heavens and the earth record this day. Let it write it before me. On the heavenly tablets, the division of days is ordained. So based by the sun going up and down and the moon going up and down. Lest they forget the feasts of the covenant, of the contract. It's part of the covenant. And walk according to the feasts of the Gentiles, the ones who God did not choose. After their error and after their ignorance, darkness. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon. See, he warned us. How it disturbs the seasons. It disturbs the seasons. And comes in from year to year, 10 days too soon. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order. So for this reason, the years will come upon us when we are disturbed and out of order, and make an abominable day, the day of testimony, and an unclean day, a feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy days, with the unclean days of Hollywood, and the unclean day, Hollywood, with the holy day, which is the Most High's days. For they will go wrong as to the months and Shabaths and feasts and jubilees. And the book of Jubilees is the book of our months, time, Sabbaths, and feasts. It's important. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disturb them, which mean their descendants, which is us. We have disturbed the time and everything, and made abominable days the day of testimony. So that they will not make the year 364 days only. So it's supposed to be 364 days again. Only. And for this reason they will go wrong, because they will not make the year 364 days only. So the children will disturb them so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason they will go wrong as to the months and season and Shabbats and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh, which is forbidden by the Deuteronomy laws in the Holy Bible. So this goes into it. So the birthday of the month festival, new moon, was observed by most of the Hebrew Israelite people, Yis-Royalites, because they feared King Antiochus. That's why the Holy Spirit left them, because they feared. After the death of the King Antiochus in 164 BCE, the Hebrew Yis-Royalite priests, the Levites, tried to restore the solar calendar like I'm doing right now. And it's a solar-based calendar based on the days, not the nights. Although the Greek new moon influence, the same as the Ashkenaz calendar, influence was all around them. It's all around us, bombarding us, blinding us sometimes like a veil. May this be revealed to you now. Halalahaya bahasham yashaya hamashiyash waharawak kwadash. Halalahaya abba al-shadeahaya. Later, in 359 CE, Hillel II introduced the fixed calculated new moon calendar. Who? Hillel. In what time? In 359 CE. What did he do again? He began the fixed calculated new moon calendar. That is based on the conjunction of the earth, moon, and sun. And this lunar calendar has been used by Jews and others to this day to determine the first day of the months and the annual feast days. However, the term new moon, Yarich Chadash, right here is Yara Chadash, which means new moon, is not written anywhere in the Hebrew scriptures. In the ancient Paleo Hebrew script, the scriptures only use the word month, Chodesh, Chadash, Shalom, Chadash, Shalom, or Yarich, Yarak, Chadash, Yarak, Chadash. That means new year, new month. Or you can say Shalom, Yarach, Chadash. Shalom Chadash, Shalom Chadash, pardon me, Shalom Yarak Chadash, Yarak, and this is Chadash, ancient Paleo Hebrew, and it pertains to a solar month. So the scriptures only use the word month, Chadash, and it pertains to a solar month. The translators mixed up a few of the Hebrew words due to vowel point errors, because we don't have certain vowels in our ancient language. So Chodesh, which means either months or new month, and the word Chadash, which means new. They also confused the word Yarak, which means month, as in a complete month, which means a full month. With the word Yarich. So you see there's Yarak, and there's Yarich. But if you read in ancient Paleo Hebrew, it's the same thing, Yarak, which means month, not Yarich. And new is Chadash, not Chodesh. So that's why I said Chadash, Yarak, Chadash, which means new month. Chadash, Yarak. So Yarak, Chadash right here. But they call it new moon. It's new month. Yarak, Chadash. Which means, so right here, Yarich mean moon in Ashkenaz language. So there's a lot of stumbling blocks you got to go through and use the lexicon in the Strong's dictionary to decode what the words mean in the original pronunciation of them. And this is where the translation error of new moon came into the various books and Bibles, because translation issue. As it was commonly known that the Hebrew Yis-RoyAlite people observed the new moon and kept the new moon festival every month. They did it wrong. However, observing the new moon is not commanded in the book of law, the Torah, nor is the term new moon ever mentioned in the whole Tanakh, which is the holy, the Torah, the Tanakh, the holy book of law. When you look at the original Paleo Hebrew text, and the word moon, Yarich, is only mentioned 3 times in the Torah, of which 2 times are warnings not to worship or serve Yarich, which is the moon, Hayarich. So in Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 15 through 19, take therefore good heed to yourselves, for you saw no manner of form on the day that Ahayah, Ahyh, spoke to you in Horeb, Mount Sinai, out of the midst of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves and make yourselves an engraved image, like Jesus, Zeus, and the form of any figure, and likeness of male or female. the likeness of any animal that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the sky. Thou shalt not commit idolatry, nor the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, corrupting yourself and making for yourselves engraved images in the form of any figure, the likeness of man or woman, or in the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the water under the earth. And lest you lift up your eyes to the sky, and when you see the sun and moon and stars that the Most High has given us for times, seasons, and years, and festivals and feasts, even all the hosts of the sky, if you dare look up to it, and be drawn away to worship and serve them, instead of just trying to keep time, you end up worshiping them like they're gods, which Ahaya, your God, had allotted to all the peoples under the whole sky. So the sun, star, and moon belongs to everyone. You can't make that thing a god and kill in its name. You're delusional, you're sick, you're Looney Tune. So in Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 2 through 5, if there be found in the midst of you, within any of your gates which Ahaya your God gives you, man or woman, who does that which is evil, in the sight of Ahaya your El, and transgressing your Al, and transgressing his covenant that he made on Mount Sinai, Horeb, and has gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, or the sun, or the moon, or any of the hosts of the sky, which I have not commanded, and it be told you, and you have heard of it, then shall you inquire diligently, and behold, if it be true, and the thing certain that such abomination is done in Yis-RoyAl, then shall you bring forth that man or that woman that committed idolatry, who has done this evil thing, idolatry, to your gates, and that man or the woman you shall stone to death with stones. You shall put them to death with stones. Genesis chapter 7, verse 9. He dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brothers, and said, Behold, I have dreamed yet another dream, and behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowed down to me. So later, when the Hebrew people adopted the Julian calendar in 45 BCE, the 7-day week continued as usual though, and the names of the weekdays remained the same. So the Hebrew Yis-RoyAlite people felt that the calendar changes would not affect them. However, the extra day that was added for 365-day year totally disrupted the weekly Sabbath cycle. And as only on the 364-day calendar, one day less, will the Sabbath be on the fixed day of the week every year, like every Saturday, and how Wednesday is in the middle of the week, and after Friday we all know Sabbath day is the weekend. So the extra 365 day, that extra one day, made the 7th day rotate to a different day of the week, beginning on the last day of the year. So the Enoch calendar is determined by the sun and the stars, giving us a year of exactly 364 days that have exactly 24 hours in each day. 12 hours of sun, 12 hours of moon. Continuing on. Pardon me. So the Enoch calendar is determined by the sun and the stars, giving us a year of exactly 364 days each year, that fixed every end of Sabbath, that have exactly 24 hours in each day. The Julian and Gregorian calendars, all these are Roman, Edomites, Japhites, are determined by the stars only. So they determine things based on the star, astrology, idol worship. only the zodiac constellations that are ruled by planets, gods, deities, planetes, planet extraterrestrials, giving a year of 365 days that have 23 hours, 56 minutes, and about 5 seconds per day. And the Most High ain't an author of confusion. That's too confusing. It's simple. Enoch, chapter 74, verse 12. And the sun and the stars bring in all the years. The sun and the stars bring in all the years exactly, even, perfect, Passover, so that they do not advance or delay. So they do not increase or reduce. No leap years, no needing to rush and catch up, and none of that. No daylight saving and none of that. Go by the sun, the stars, and the moon. Mainly the sun and the stars. They're positioned by a single day unto eternity. So they do not advance or delay their position by a single day unto eternity. So not even by a single day, 365, are they delayed. And they do not advance. So they remain in their position each year unto eternity. But complete the years with perfect justice, Christ, Yeshua, in 364 days. This is in the book of Enoch. It's now in the book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verse 9 through 10. And Ahaya appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for days, and for Shabaths. This is what he says in Genesis as well. And for moons, and for feasts, and for years, and for Shabaths of years, which is Sabbath of years, and for jubilees, and for all seasons of the years. And this is what the sun is used for. And Ahaya appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth. So the Julian calendar reduced each hour of the day by 9.86 seconds, so that the hour has about 59 minutes and 50 seconds. And the change was so subtle that the Hebrew Yis-RoyAlite people were unaware that this minor change could affect anything, let it alone their Sabbath days, Yawam Shabbat. So the 9.86 seconds per hour equates to almost 4 minutes per day off. 9,452 minutes per day, 3.9452 minutes per day, or 3.5 minutes per day per se, or 236.7 seconds per day is taken off over time, over years, starting from when they did this. So the calendar is off. It starts sliding completely off gradually. That is taken out of each of the 364 days to create the 365th day. That is March 15th. This is why our days are called sidereal days, and that's what we call it. This is why our days are called sidereal days, as the days have 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 5 seconds. And it is not a true 24-hour day. The 365th created day, March 15th, is inserted into the calendar each year next to the last day of the year, which is March 16th. Because March 16th and 15th are one day. Look at it like that and just call it March 16th. So the same procedure is followed again to create a leap year every 4th year. Every additional minutes are taken out of each of the original 364 days to create the 366th day, February 29th, which is inserted into the Gregorian calendar at the end of the 50th week every 4th year. So February 29th, 2008, February 29th, 2012, February 29th, 2016, February 29th, 2020, etc. Gregorian calendar at the end of the 50th week was inserted. So the following is the formula that governments use. A formula, a trick, like baby formula, trick, recipe, to make a sidereal day or an extra day. And it basically just takes out minutes from the original 364 days to create another day, a fictitious day. So 364 days time 1440 minutes. So 1440 minutes times 364 days. That's 524,160 minutes per 364 day year. So all those extra minutes take you off by 524,160 minutes you're losing per 364 day year. So that creates a whole new day eventually. And eventually it creates a whole new other day. And then you become days away from the new year over time. So in 524,160 minutes divided by 365 days, by according to their days and time, equal 1,046.05479 minutes per day in a 365 day year. So it throws you completely off. So 1440 minus 1436, so 1,440 is the minutes, minus one, which is from 364 day calendar, minus the 1,436.05479, which is the minutes per the 365 day calendar. Now this is the difference in between the days. 9,452 minutes. So 3,9,452 minutes taken out of each of the 364 days, or 9.86 seconds taken. 9 minutes 86 seconds taken out of each hour. 3 minutes. So he gives you the they give you the formula here again. So 3,9,452 minutes times 60 seconds, because remember there's 60 seconds in each minute, equal 236.7,123 seconds per day, divided by 24 hours. So how much we're losing out of a day? 9 minutes and 86 seconds. 9 minutes 86 seconds taken out of each hour. That's how they come up with that. So for 1,436.05479 minutes per day, which comes from the 365 day year, divided by 60 minutes, would be 23 hours, or 23.934246575 hours in each hour of the 365 days. They're just making you go completely off. And the Most High ain't the author of confusion. So it's going to make sense after today for you. May you be set free. May you be set free. May you be set free in the name of Christ Yeshua HaMashiach, with the faith embedded in me and coded in my soul and DNA, with authority. Ahman. So if you want to go ahead and calculate this, 0.934246575 hours in a 365 days times 60 seconds times 60 minutes equal 56.054794520 minutes and seconds. So this is the end of that. Total 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 0.05 seconds in each of the Gregorian 365 days, as compared to exactly 24 hours in each of Enoch's 364 days, which represents the 12 chambers of the Hebrew Israelites through night and day, the covenant. So you can see that the extra day, 365th or March 15th, does not exist. But the minutes do exist. And the Enoch calendar leaves the minutes where they belong for a 364-day year that has exactly 24 hours in each day. And remember, Enoch mean he dedicated to the Most High. He walked with the Most High. So he who walked with the Most High's calendar. The Gregorian calendar adds extra days by reducing minutes, and therefore it throws off the Sabbath day and throws off the feast days, and it threw me off before, and places them on an abominable day, just like the lunar calendar does. And that's what the lunar calendar does. So in the book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 37, for this reason the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order, and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disturb them, the time, season, months, feasts, all these right here, jubilees, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. For this reason they will go wrong as to the new months and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. So the following is a 5-year example showing that a Saturday Sabbath is not possible in every year according to their moon Sabbaths. The Gregorian calendar is an illusion and is deceptive in showing the true seventh day, because when the 365th day and 366th day is added to the calendar, the main order will rotate to different days on the calendar. Although the number for each day does not change its order, first day to seventh day, the name for each day does change its order, Sunday to Saturday, and the week can begin and end on any day from Sunday to Saturday. When the 365th day, there's day 0 that don't exist, is inserted into the calendar every year in the 52nd week. Saturday, Sabbath day, shifts back one day. And when the 366th day, day 0 is inserted into the calendar every 4th year in this 52nd week, Sabbath shifts back 2 days. In other words, Sabbath will fall on any day of the week from the 7th day through the 6th day of the week if you follow the moon in their calendar, which had happened to me, and that's why I know so much about this now. So example of 7th day Shabbat on Gregorian calendar below. It's going to be confusing because they're the author of confusion. It's off. That's why to explain the truth is confusing, because they have taught us to be backward and upside down. So in the first year, Sabbath day shifts back one day to the 6th day of the week. Second year, Saturday shifts back one day to the 5th day of the week. So you see it goes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So in the first year, it shifts back one day to the 6th day. Second year, it shifts back 5 day. It shifts one day to the 5th day of the week. So it goes 1, 1, 1 each year. It's off one day. Third year, Saturday shifts back one day to the 4th day of the week. Fourth year, Saturday, Shabbat day, Yawam Shabbat, shifts back one Yawam day to the second Yawam, the second day of the week. And the 5th year, Saturday, Shabbat day, shift back to the 1st day of the week. And that's what it was doing to me. The moon will trick you. It's Jezebel, fornication. The 365th and 366th added days, day 0, are an illusion, delusion, fairy tale, and do not exist, nor is there a March 17th or March 15th or 16th, because March 15th and 16th is from March 15th sundown to March 16th sundown. By the time it hits sundown March 16th, that's New Year's. Aviv, Nisan. That's when our new year begin, and that's spring. That's true spring. That's the good time and best time to start planting your plants and seeds according to the portals of the Most High, which go through the chambers and gates of the celestial sky and heavens every 12 hours, 6 hours up, 6 hours down. So the following shows what day of the week the Saturday Sabbath fell on during the first 5 years, just like we showed you right here. Or when the 365th day, March 15th, and the 366th day, February 29th, were originally added to the calendar. The seven days of the week are in fixed and permanent positions forever. Because in 7 days the Most High created heaven and earth. He completed creating heaven and earth in 6 days. And by the 7th day he rested from all his work. And man was created on the 6th day. But the names that have been assigned to the 7 days are not in fixed and permanent positions, and actually change their position to a different day of the week. So it throw you off if you're going based on the word Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and all that. So as you can tell, week 50, the first year, as you can tell, so right here, February, they finish it on the 28th. That February 28th throws us off, because there's a day or two missing from there, because it's in some of the other days. So as you start to look at this, to start to confuse you and throw you off. March begins right here for them, but that's not when March begins for us. You see what I'm saying? So we must know when the year begin and end, because the beginning is the end and the end is the beginning. And once we know that, we can calculate everything from there. So this will throw you off, February, and then it goes into March 8th, March 2nd through the 9th through the 16th. And this right here is really, this is week 52. After this is Saturday, you see? You see what I'm saying? But they add an extra day into it for some reason. Or it ends up being on Monday. You see? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday begins right here again. So Saturday to Saturday, this would really be Friday, but they have it wrong right here. This would be Friday, and this would be Saturday. You see? Because right here, the 14th represents the 15th. So they put it one day or two a day behind or ahead. See how you're off? The 14th is supposed to be on Saturday. And from the 14th, pardon me, the 14th is Thursday and Friday. Friday sundown is the 15th. Friday even sunset on the 15th to the 16th of Saturday sundown is New Year. But they add an extra day right here. So really Sunday is Saturday night. And they throw you off by putting day 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So you're off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days off now. A new year, next 52 weeks. You're already off each year. And so by the next year, as you can tell, in February, everything begins to change now. Now right here you've seen the 6th is on Friday, right? And Saturday is on the 7th, right? But right here, the 6th is on Saturday now. And the 7th is on Sunday. Right here now, the 6th is on Sunday. And the 7th is on Monday. Over time, it throws you off. It throws you off for all those 5 years. So this process continues yearly on the Gregorian calendar. And the true 7th-day Sabbath, Yawam Shabbat, will begin on a different day of the week, Sunday to Saturday, starting on the last day of the year, which is March 16th. The day of equal night and equal day in Yerushalayim. And this is the sign of the Sabbath day, Yawam Shabbat. So let me see if I can find what I was looking for again, one more time. Let me see if it might be in here. Hold on one sec. Alright, let me just go back to this sunrise, sunset. So we're going over here, Mount Sinai again. Mount Sinai, 30 degrees, 28, north, 2 hours from Greenwich. Standard time, compute table. Alright, here we go. So now you can get it for next year if you want, so you don't miss it. Everything begins around March 15th, 16th, and 17th. So now let's see it with the moon. When the moon rise and moon set at that time. On the 15th. So the moon will start rising around 12:59 to 55 seconds. I mean, not 55 seconds. And it was set, at 55 minutes or something like that. 55 minutes, 0 hours. So in between there will begin the new day. You see how it goes into the 16th? In between there will be the new day. Let me see if I can find one more representation. Go right here. Lunar eclipse, day and night across the earth, surreal time. There goes the surreal time right here. And you can use all this to calculate what's going on. Takes a lot of studying. Alright, I can't find what I'm looking for. But let me try this right here. This might be it. 33, 28. Mount Sinai. Looking for daylight. Yeah, I think they took out what I'm trying to look for right now. So around 12:50 it keeps saying anyway. What I'm looking for I cannot find at the moment. I hope they didn't take out what I'm looking for. Yeah, I can't find what I'm looking for. This is crazy. Let me try to see if it's over here somewhere. Oh yeah, by the way, New Year's also is our New Year's on St. Patrick's Day. That's messed up. So that makes it so much easier to remember because they celebrate St. Patrick's Day on that day. Yeah, what I'm looking for I definitely can't find. Not at the moment. Let me look at Form B. Yeah, I can't find what I'm looking for at the moment. Sunrise, sunset. Alright, we'll leave that for now. We'll continue on. So in the book of Jubilees, so right here it says, the day of equal night and equal day in Yerushalayim and Jerusalem. That's where we're computing the time. And this is the sign of the Sabbath day. Jubilees chapter 2 verse 20 through 22. And I have chosen the seed of Jacob, Yis-RoyAl, from amongst all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him unto myself forever and ever, which is Yis-RoyAl. This is why we celebrate Feast of First Fruit. And I will teach them the Sabbath day, Yawam Shabbat, that they may keep Yawam Shabbat thereon from all work. And thus he created therein a sign, in accordance with which they should keep Yawam Shabbat with us on the seventh day, to eat and to drink, and to bless him who hath created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified unto himself a peculiar people above all peoples. That's what he look at Hebrew Israelites as. Verse 22, and that they should keep Yawam Shabbat together with us. And he caused his commands to ascend as the sweet savor, accepted before him all the days, according to the time. As you can see above, it is impossible for Sabbath day to be the seventh day Sabbath in every year because of the added 2 days, although the number order of the days remain fixed, first day to seventh day. The corresponding name order of the days, Sunday to Saturday, change positions. This is very important to understand because only the weekly seventh day is the holy day, Yawam Kwadash, or Kwadash Yawam, holy day, and not the name Saturday, but the seventh day, that's its name, seventh day, will be on a different day of the week, beginning every March 16th for a whole year. The seventh day Shabbat, Yawam Shabbat, can only be on the fixed day of the week on the Enoch calendar because it has only 364 days and exactly 52 weeks, and not 52 weeks and 2 days as the Gregorian calendar. So in the book of Jubilees chapter 6 verse 29 through 31, and they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 13 weeks. From one to another past their memorial, from the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth year. Each had 13 weeks. What is 13 weeks in days? 52 weeks. And all the days of the commandment will be 250 weeks of days, which is 52 weeks of days, sun rising. And these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tablets, the celestial sky. And there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or from year to year. So it's important we keep these dates. This is what keeps us connected to our culture. This is clear to see on the Enoch 364 day calendar that does not have the Roman name Sunday through Saturday on it and excludes the name 3/15 in every year. The name 3/14 corresponds to the 30th day of the 12th month for Hebrew Israelites. And it is excluded every 4th year when the name 2/29 is included. One only needs to remember that March 16th is the last day of the year and the last Sabbath, Yawam Shabbath, of the year in every year, and to count to every 7th day thereafter, March 23rd, 30th, April 6th, 13th, etc., to observe the holy Sabbath day. So March 16th is the day of equal night and equal day, which is the birthday of my earthly mother, Mom. The sign of the Sabbath day. The Gregorian calendar cannot be reconciled with the Enoch calendar, as they are two different calendar systems. However, the adjustments that are made towards the end of the year can be stopped to take out the added 365th day, the idols of March, and the 366th day, the leap year. These adjustments were made towards the end of the year, in other words, February 29th, and therefore the corrections have to be made before the end of the year or before the equalized day of March 16th, and not at the beginning of the new year. On the Roman calendar, March 15th marked the beginning of the consular year, the consular year in the Republic, when two elected Roman consuls and agoras priests took office for a 1-year term, from March 15th to March 14th. The consular year had 10 months of 30 days each, plus 4 days that end the seasons, 2 equinox days and 2 solstice days, or 304 days in total. The Romulus took away 2 months of 30 days, and if those 2 months were put back into the calendar, it would be the Enoch calendar. So the 2 months they take out, which are 2 months of 30, so be 364 days. It would be the Enoch calendar, ending the year on the 30th day of the 12th month, which is March 14th. So March 15th to 16th is the first day of the year, Passover. So by March 14th sundown, they sacrificed the lamb, Yeshaya, on March 14th. And now on March 15th and 16th, sunrise to sundown was the first day. Saturday night, the 16th. So with the season change day or spring equinox being on the following day, which is now called March 16th. So it would be the Enoch calendar ending the year on the 30th day of the 12th month, which is March 14th, with the season change day or spring equinox being on the following day, which you have to add 1 more day, which will make it the 15th, which is now called March 16th. 16th night. March 16th is always the last day of the year, the 364th day, and is the day of equal night and day in Yerushalayim, with the sunrise and sunset times occurring at 5:48 and solar noon occurring at 11:48 a.m. Sunrise and sunset, like we learned over here in our little thing. March 16th is always the 7th day Shabbat, and sets the 7th day Shabbat for the next year on both the Enoch calendar and the Gregorian calendar. March 17th is New Year's Day in every year, but the world calls this day St. Patrick's Day. So Sunday sunrise would be towards the end of the first day, because the first day begins on Saturday sunset even, and by sunrise the day is about to end, but that is considered St. Patrick's Day, that Sunday. And Christ already rose up by sunset on March 16th. So March 17th is New Year's Day, the first day of the first month of the year for us, of Abib, Aviv, Nisan. But the world calls this day St. Patrick's Day. So when using the Gregorian calendar, just look at March 14th and March 15th as one whole day in the week. Like Yahawashai, longest day. The days in Enoch's time and Yahawashai's time had 18 parts or moments per day. Joshua's longest day, the days in Enoch's time and in Joshua's time had 18 parts or moments per day, which is 18 hours per day. Joshua, Yahawashai, made the sun and moon stand still for 36 moments. And this equals 2 whole days in time past. But only one day in the week. So Enoch, chapter 72, verse 31 through 33. And on that day, the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west. So it rises from the east and rests in the west, and returns to the east and rises in the third portal, 3 o'clock, and the third hour of the day. And the sun is going around the earth, as you can tell, or the earth is going around the sun, something like that, because the sun is going from east to west and below and around and back up east and above and back down west and go below and then go back up east and like a circle. You see, so something's happening with the sun going around us like a circle. On that day, the night decreases. So let's continue. So and returns to the east and rises in the third portal for 130 mornings, for 31 mornings, and sets in the west of the heaven, of the sky. On that day, the night decreases. The night decreases and the day increases, and amounts to 9 parts, 9 hours, and the day to 9 parts, 9 hours, and the night is equal to the day. That is the equinox, and the years is exactly as to its days, 364. And that's in the book Jasher, chapter 88, verse 64. And the Most High hearkened to the voice of Yahawashai, and the sun stood still in the midst of the heavens, and it stood still 36 moments, 36 minutes, so we call minutes moments. And the moon also stood still and hastened not to go down a whole day. So there was a day of stillness and silence on the equinox of spring of that day. Everything stood still. So, Joshua chapter 10 verse 13 through 14. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. So this was the time we act. Brace ourselves. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? You see, and that's in the Holy Bible, Joshua, Yeshaya. This is in the book of Jasher. This is in the book of Jasher, so you got to read that book as well. So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down a whole day, and on the day before and after, which is before is the 14th and after is the 15th, which is all the 16th day. The 15th and the 16th is one day. We heard Ahaya and voice of men, for Ahaya fought for Yis-RoyAl. Each day has a total of 1,440 minutes per day. 1,440 minutes per day. Each day. Whether it is broken down by 18 hours per day. 9 hours up, 9 hours down. Having 80 minutes per hour, or 24 hours per day, having 60 minutes per hour. So 18 hours per day has 80 minutes per hour. 18 minutes per hour. Or if you're using a 24-hour day, it will have 60 minutes per hour. 1,440 minutes per day. So Yis-RoyAl is where the timing begins for the Yawam Shabbat, at the first light of dawn. For example, the sun rises in Yis-RoyAl first and travels westward, and then rises over Egypt, then Libya, then Algeria, then over the Atlantic Ocean, to rise over New York, continuing to travels westward, and then continues to California, then Hawaii, then Japan, then China, then Afghanistan, then Iran, then Iraq, then Jordan, and then the sun rises in Yis-RoyAl again to begin the next day. So Yis-RoyAl is the headquarters of the sun, where the rising sun begins in the east. The throne for the Most High in the universe, on earth, in Israel, Yis-RoyAl, in Jerusalem, Yis-RoyAl, Ahaya-Ru-Salem. Again to begin the next day, where the first light of dawn continues moving westward around the globe to begin the next day for all the nations on earth. So in Isaiah chapter 2 verse 3, and many people shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of Ahaya, to the mountain of Ahaya of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and that we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion, Mount Zion, shall go forth the law. Here we come. And the word of Ahaya from Yis-RoyAl. Prophecy being fulfilled. Micah chapter 4 verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of Ahaya, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion, Mount Zion, shall go forth the law, the 10 commandments, and all the commands of Ahaya through Christ Yeshua. And the word of Ahaya from Yis-RoyAl. In other words, dawn. Dawn means morning, which means Bakar. Begins the 7th day. Yawam, Yom. In modern day Hebrew, Yom. Paleo Hebrew, Yawam. For all the nations on earth, as the first light of dawn is a 24-hour period that is allocated to all the nations. The Sabbath day, Yawam Shabbat, goes forth from Yis-RoyAl, making the dawn time be the beginning, and the same Yawam Shabbat for all the nations on earth. The Enoch calendar was used by David, Christ's granddad, and he understood that each month had 30 days, plus 1 day at the end of each quarter, and there's 4 quarters, for the change in season. This is how David knew when the new month began, as it was a holy festival day celebrated by all the Hebrew people, and it had to be aligned with the time. In the first book of Samuel, chapter 20 verse 5, David said to Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new month, and I should not fail to sit at table with the king, but let me go, that I may hide myself in the field till the 3rd day at even. So tomorrow is the new month, which is Saturday night, Sabbath night. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field till the 3rd day at even. At the even. When the new month is going to come, when the even comes, sunset. In the first book of Samuel, chapter 20, verse 18, then Jonathan said to him, tomorrow is the new month, and you will be missed because your seat will be empty. Numbers chapter 28 verse 11 through 15. At the beginning of your months, you shall offer a burnt offering to Ahiyah, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs, a year old without blemish, 12 also 3/10 of an ephah, which is 12. 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a cereal offering, mixed with oil, olive oil, for each bull, and 2/10 of fine flour without yeast for a cereal offering, mixed with olive oil for the 1 ram, and 1/10 of fine flour mixed with oil as a cereal offering for every lamb. For a burnt offering of pleasing odor, an offering by fire to Ahiyah, their drink offering shall be half a hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin for a ram. Now these are ancient Hebrew measurements. You should look it up. A hin. And 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This is the burnt offering of each month throughout the months of the year. And that's Old Testament. And Christ is the ultimate lamb now. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering to Ahiyah. It shall be offered besides the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. So let me see where we're at right now. Yeah, we're definitely going to have a part 4. Definitely. For certain. And we'll end it on there, because we're almost halfway through this. So Isaiah chapter 66 verse 23. From new month to new month. And in the Holy Bible they change it from new moon to new moon. That's where people's getting tricked. They put that in there. From new month to new month, and from Shabbath to Shabbath. And all flesh shall come to worship before Ahiyah, says Ahiyah. Will come to worship before me, says Ahiyah. Ezekiel chapter 46 verse 1. Thus says the Lord Ahiyah, the gate of the inner court that faces east shall be shut on the 6th working days, but on the Sabbath day it will be opened. So Sabbath day is a holy day. The gates open on that day. The inner courts, which faces the east, are open that day. And on the day of the new month it will be opened. So Ezekiel chapter 46 verse 3 chapter 46. The people of the land will worship at the entrance of the gate before Ahiyah. The entrance of the gate at even. On the Sabbaths and on the new months. So on the new months and the Sabbaths you're going to be doing this. So Amos chapter 8 verse 4 through 7. Hear this, you that trample on the needy will desist, and the poor of the land shall rest. You that say, when the new month is over, we will sell grain, and the Sabbath we will open the wheat to measure out less and get more shekels by falsifying the scales and being deceitful like Satan, to acquire the silver of the poor and the shoes of the needy, but sell them the refuse of the grain, the undesired grain, giving us what you would throw away. Ahiyah swore that this arrogance of Jacob will never be forgotten, nor their works. And this is what we need to repent for during these days and times. Say the Noah's prayer during these times. In the 2nd book of Kings, chapter 4, verse 23, he said, go. It is not the day of the new month or Shabbath, so go in peace. The book of Enoch shows, the book of the faithful, dedicated servant of the Most High, shows the original holy calendar. The holy calendar, and gives details on the number of days in each of the 12 months of the year. It tells us that the calendar is solar, with a year that has exactly 364 days. It states that the last day of the year, the 31st day, has equal day and equal night, parts, hours, and minutes. So Enoch chapter 72, verse 31 through 33. And on that day the sun rises from that portal, and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the third portal for 130 mornings, 31 mornings, and sets in the west of the heaven. On that day the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts, 9 hours, and the day to 9 parts, 9 hours equally, and the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly as to its day, 364. This day is not the vernal equinox, as the vernal equinox day does not have equal day and night parts. In astronomy, the vernal equinox is defined as a moment or point in time, not a whole day, when the center of the sun can be observed directly above the Earth's equator. Equinox. The equator is over 2,000 miles away from Mount Sinai. 2,000 miles away from Mount Sinai, like 2 hours away, where the Enoch calendar was given to Moses, Moshe, at Mount Sinai with the law and all that order. So the vernal equinox has nothing to do with the holy calendar at all. The change of season occurs every 91 days, or 4 days in a year. Each month has 30 days, plus an additional day at the end of each quarter. The 31st day for the season change, where the sun remains at the same latitude as the 30th day. So that would represent this right here. Vernal. It doesn't start at the vernal. That's winter. It starts at the spring solstice, which starts right here. Spring. So there's 3 months of spring, 30 days, 30 days, 31 days, and then there's 3 months of summer, 30 days, 30 days, 31 days, and there's 3 months of fall, which is 30 days, 30 days, 31 days, and there's also the winter solstice, 30 days, 30 days, 31 days. So 30 plus 30, so 30 plus 2, 4, 6, 8, so 30 plus 8, hold on 1 second. My brain is overloaded by information right now. So 30 times 8, 240. So be 2, 4, 6, 8, and then you have one is 31, and you have 431. You have 4 quarters: vernal equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, and winter solstice. So before we continue, we should be adding 30, 60, 90, 90 plus 4. So let's do this over again. 90 times 4. 90 times 4. 360. Because they're 30 days each, but each solstice in equinox gets 1 more day. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4 equals 364. Perfect. And it begins at Sabbath night again, Saturday night, and spring begins. Everything perfect. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Hope that makes sense. So now let me see if there was something else I wanted to show you guys about that. Alright, this right here. This is another version of it. So this one is kind of missing the last 31 day. But this is as close as it gets right here. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Everything starts from the equinox. Although spring is starting right here, around here. So alright, let's go ahead and continue. So the change of season occurs every 91 days, or 4 days in a year. Each month has 30 days, plus an additional day at the end of each quarter. The 31st day for the season change, where the sun remains at the same latitude as the 30th day. The 30th and the 31st is the same day, like March 14th and March 15th and 16th. The sun is at the celestial latitude of 0 degrees, perfect, on the equinox. March 16th and September 14th, the 31st days. On the solstice, the sun ascends to the celestial latitude of 90 degrees. Because right above the earth, like the sun be 90 degrees above us when we're in noon, midnight or midday, or mid-noon, or mid-noon. And you want to know if it's noon night or noon day. Because noon mean 90 degree, halfway. North on June 15th. And then begins its declination to the celestial latitude. So the sun ascends to the celestial latitude of 90 degrees north on June 15th. And then begins its declination to the celestial latitude of 90 degrees south on December 14th. The 31st days, so which is the winter and summer. In other words, there are 4 days in the year that are the 31st days, where the sun will remain at the same fixed latitude as that of the 30th days, and will not ascend or decline, so that there is a 36-degree rotation in 1 year. Although there are 364 days in 1 year, the sun remains at celestial latitude of 0 degrees for 2 days to begin the spring, and it remains at celestial latitude of 90 degrees north for 2 days to begin the summer, and it remains at celestial latitude 0 degrees for 2 days to begin the autumn, and it remains at celestial latitude of 90 degrees south for 2 days to begin the winter. So there's constantly 2 days in between these periods. So by the time it reaches this point and it's going to shift into summer, there's an extra day. So that day and the extra day is 1 day of spring, and then summer begins. And 30, 30, 31. That 31 and the 30th is both 1 days. And it happens 4 times each time, creating equinoxes and bridges and breaks within the seasons and the months. Portals, all portals in position. Angelic portals that we need to use to seal and bind all the demons and cast them into the bottomless pit of Abaddon. In the name of Christ Yeshua, our Savior, in truth and light. So as you see, these gaps represent the 0 degrees north and 0 degrees south, 0 degrees east and 0 degrees west. Everything's at 0.0. So Enoch was the first man, so he was a man, as we know, descendants of Adam, to write down the calendar, and it is the calendar that 2 classes of angels use, who also observe the Sabbath day, Yawam Shabbat, in heaven and on earth. So as it is in heaven, is as it is on earth. All right, hello? Shalom, shalom. Pardon me, guys. Let me make sure this is in. on 1 second, y'all. Shalom, shalom. Pardon me. Had technical difficulties real quick. All right, we back. So, all right, let's continue on. So, in the book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verse 16 through 17, and he completed all his work on the 6th day. All that is in the heavens and on the earth, and in the seas, and in the abysses, in the light and in the darkness, and in everything. And he gave us the angels a great sign, the day of Sabbaths, that we should do work 6 days, and should rest on the Sabbath, Yawam Shabbat, from all work. And that's in accordance with the Bible too, the Holy Bible. So the book of Jubilee is good. And all the angels of the face, and all the angels that cry, Holy, Quadash, to us, these two great kinds. So in all the angels of the face, and all the angels that cry, Holy, to us, these two great kinds, he said that we should observe the Sabbath with him in heaven and on earth. So Jubilees, the book of Jubilees, chapter 4, verse 16 through 19. And in the 11th Jubilee, Jared took to himself a wife, and her name was Barakah, a daughter of Razujel, a daughter of the sister of his father, in the 4th week of this Jubilee. And she bore for him a son in the 5th week, in the 4th year of this Jubilee, and he called his name Enoch. He was the first one from among the children of men that are born on the earth to learn writing and knowledge and wisdom. And he wrote the signs of heaven according to the order of their months in a book. So Jubilee is referring to the book of Enoch as well, that the sons of men might know the time of the year according to their separate months, portals. He was the first to write a testimony, and he testified to the children of men concerning the generations of the earth, and explained the weeks of the Jews, the days of the years, and arranged the months, and explained the Sabbaths of the years, as we made them known to him. So, alright, let me see if we're almost there what I want to show you guys. Alright, so we're definitely going to have a part 4. We should probably, let me see. Alright, we're on here. So Ahaya's calendar, the Enoch calendar, was observed from the time of creation week. 7-day creation week, 6 days creation, 7-day rest, that stillness, that pause again. And after the flood, it was observed in Sumer, Shinar, today's southern Iraq, where Noah's family and Abraham lived for a couple of times with the Midianites, Ishmaelites. The Sumerian priest called Sezg-Alu would look for the following events that signal the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. And 2 events occurred on the equalized days, the last 2 days of the year. So, alright, we're going to pause right here for right now and continue on in our next video and go from there. So, I hope you guys are learning a lot. Stay in tune. All praise to the Most High Ahaya Bahasham Yeshaya Barakanta Waharawak Kwadash. Ahman. All praise to the Most High I am that I am. Shalom, y'all.